DC. And this time it's the 29 of Short. Will he get to the stripe first and lead them? No, it's the 23 of Justin Brayton on the Joe Gibbs Racing Yamaha into the #1 spot.
And James Stewart not good out of the gate. He's going to be just outside of the top 10. Dungey up inside the top 5. Metcalf coming through around 10th. Stewart behind him.
You see guys just banging bars. Metcalf almost went down early on. We're looking for Stewart. There's Dungey. About 4th. They jump out of the gravity cavity. One of the roughest obstacles in the series.
And how about Clement Desalle from Belgium riding the Suzuki. Once again, another great start up inside the top 5.
There you see Stewart just being bumped around. I'd say he's middle of the pack right now, the #7. Brayton on the 23 in the lead. But here comes Andrew Short trying to get by him.
Oh, Brayton gets a little kicker, comes up way short, misses the turn. Is that going to allow Short?
Not quite. Brayton's able to hold him off. Desalle in 3rd, Dungey in 4th. Who's going to establish themselves early in this second moto? Short goes to the inside. Nice move by the Red Bull Honda man. No. Brayton's going to try to come back. Short's got the line covered. He's in the lead.
The track is so difficult right now. Rutted up from a previous 250 moto. You can see they put quite a bit of water down, but you see how it's dark in spots and the soil is lighter in others. Where it's dark, it could be wet and slippery, and where it's light, pretty good, could be dry, you know, but overall, it's really inconsistent, and the track is not worked in yet.
Check out the battle here, Jeff, as Dungey goes after Clement Desalle for 3rd place. Side by side over one of the biggest jumps on this tour, the sky shot. Desalle on the 463, able to hold off Dungey.
This fantastic ride in Moto 1 by both of these Suzuki riders. Just outstanding efforts, and Dungey has been he's been good. He's been great. He just does his thing. It has not been rattled at all. Just goes out steadily, works his way to the front if he doesn't already have the lead. And it's hard to beat a guy in that condition.
And then right behind him, you've got some real talent. Ben Townley coming through in the 101. We're the next rider to try to challenge Dungey. What can you say about Desalle? Only the 2nd time he's ever raced in the United States. He's going after the 2nd place rider, Justin Brayton, and trying to leave Dungey behind.
Well, and Desalle, when he rode here last year, had just an awesome ride on basically what was a stock bike, a production bike. Now he's on a factory Suzuki here, great equipment, and really showing what sort of talent he has.
Look at how many ways there are to go on this track. They call out different lines. Dungey to the inside, Desalle on the outside. Now Dungey switches back to the outside. They leap out of that gravity cavity, and they call it gravity cavity. You hit the bottom, you G out. The gravity force forces you down onto the motorcycle. It's a lot of strength to get in and out of that.
Wow, look at that close-up shot right there. You see how muddy it is in that one dark spot there. And then you go to these off-campers where there's all these little rocks like marbles. Okay? And then you get on those, and the bike wants to skate around, and either the front wheel breaks loose or the rear wheel breaks loose. So this track extremely rough right now. So the chassis setup and the suspension settings are key. And then also for the rider, he really has to negotiate the opening part of this moto here with accuracy, because the track is very tricky right now because of the water and the condition of the race surface.
An update there, Stewart was 15th at the end of lap 1, and he's got to deal with all these rocks. They call it roost. You got a rider in front of you. 50, 60 horsepower machines are just spewing you with rocks.
Well, and to put it into perspective, in 15th, his lap time was a 2:22 on the first lap. Short was a 2:13, so he gave up 9 seconds. Or 13.4 behind the stripe.
Yeah, because he's stuck in traffic. Here's Dungey working on Desalle again. Here we go, side by side. And the Belgian's still able to hold off the kid from Minnesota.
Let's see if Dungey can double this and get the drive.
Oh, and they're going after Brayton. Maybe Desalle's best hope to survive the challenge of Dungey is to get into 2nd, and he does. Nicely done. He splits Brayton.
As they sit right now, Desalle would have the overall.
Yes. We'll take the points from the first race, combine it with the points from this. So Dungey got to start pushing the envelope, go after the 23, not let his fellow Suzuki man get away from him.
Yeah, and remember those points were 25, 22, 20 for the top 3 there.
And Dungey makes the move on break. Now you see the countdown clock at the top of the screen. That's the time. 25 minutes to go, and then we'll bring out the 2 laps to go sign.
Yeah, 30 minutes plus 2 laps. The riders have already done 1 today, so they're already physically taxed, okay? And they've already taken all this abuse that this track gives out one time, and now they have to do it again, and the track is in worse condition, and it's much tougher, even this moto than before.
Here is Dungey challenging Desalle. What a spectacular season the 20-year-old from Minnesota has had. A rookie has never won the Supercross and Motocross titles in the same season, and Dungey is working on that right now. We'll get in depth with Ryan Dungey and his rookie season when we return. Stay with us. This is all part of Ally Sports, and check out allysports.com. That has everything action sports, and that includes coverage of our first motos each and every week of Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship Racing. Check it out for videos, photos, results, athlete bios, and more. That's allysports.com. Everything action sports, and that, of course, includes motocross. Here's what's happening here. Ryan Dungey has just turned in the fastest lap of this race. He is still in third, going after the Belgian, Clement Desalle, with Andrew Short leading the way. Jeff Emming, this is the way Dungey has played it a lot this year. He starts off, figures out where he needs to be, and then turns it up.
Yeah, and as we just crossed the stripe there, it was the lap before, he set a 2:11.9, which is the fastest of the moto, but this last lap around was a 2:13.3, and Short and Desalle running first and second are both a little bit quicker than that, but as you can see, it's going to shrink up, and then it's going to space out, and it gets back and forth. The bottom line is I am quite sure that Andrew Short is going to have a lot of company here.
This is impressive, though. He's dealing with some pressure. It's only going to get worse because you know those Suzukis are going to come after him. They're all getting feel for the course, where the lines have changed. Like you said, they put some water down between our first race and our second. But once they figure this thing out, it's going to be max speed all the way to the end.
Short nailing that double on the top of the stair steps there. That's a good line. And if he can use that to, well, yeah, in the 450s, if you go to the inside, you actually jump off that last one instead of jump over it. But you can see Dungey getting a mouthful of roost right now, pulling another tear off.
Yeah, what happens is they get film over their goggles. They can rip that film off and get clear vision, and you need it. Talk about the rocks and such on this track. They've done a great job putting new soil down to lessen the amount of rocks. You'd much rather get hit by dirt than boulders.
Well, yeah, and new soil, it's top soil that has washed off over the decades of racing here, and then they go grab it from the bottoms of the valleys, and they spread it all along, across the top of the track here, and it's made for just an awesome surface here, especially around this next section here where it's so loamy. See how deep those ruts are? That's because of that, just that mulchy soil that they have up here in upstate New York.
Desalle right now with Short. Dungey is there. We've got a 3-rider battle for the lead as we approach the halfway mark. Look at the fans. They're up against the fences, just anticipating what's going to happen here. They're setting each other up at the moment, but next couple of laps, you're going to see some guys trying to make moves.
Yeah, I mean, there's a possibility here, the way that Desalle is riding, that he can come away with the win here because he put on a strong ride in the first moto. Remember, he's never raced here, so now he's getting a little more used to this track here, starting to figure out how the track's going to flow.
And there's the element of surprise. Dungey has battled Short in this position several times this year and has been able to make his way around, but it's a complete mystery for his one-weekend-only teammate, Clement Desalle. Dungey doesn't really know how to play it against this guy. They've never really raced.
Got to just use your head at this point, try to ride smooth. Remember, Dungey's got a massive points lead.
Wait a minute. James Stewart, who had the bad start. We now hear that Stewart has pulled off of the racetrack. He had gotten up to about 11th place, was fighting to get in at the top 10, but he has pulled off. He did tell us at the end of Moto 1 he was tired. Maybe he wasn't quite ready yet. So much action right now as Desalle goes for the lead, and James Stewart is out. Look at this. Desalle wants a piece of the 29 to get the lead. Not quite able to pull it off, but Short knows he's there now.
Look at this. As it starts to, it'll get into a little one-line situation here, and Desalle's going to try to stay out of the roost. Yeah, see, and he crosses over the line to avoid those rocks, but this is where he's got a really fast line as he sweeps around the outside. Back to the inside, Desalle.
He's going to try to use it. You saw that coming, Jeff. Great job by Desalle. He even looks over to make sure he gave Short some room. He doesn't want to tangle with him. He's in the lead.
And as they sit now, Desalle would be your overall winner.
Dungey's got to start hustling. He can't let Short hold him up and let Desalle get away. Short's going to try to get him back as we go up the wall. Great racing here at Unadilla. So glad you folks could join us for the action live. Halfway mark. What is going to happen when we hit the stretch drive here in upstate New York? The fans are fired up about the action here today. Stay with us. Well, this is the story. James Stewart and the number 7 Sam Manuel L&M Racing Yamaha out of this race. We anticipated a showdown with he and Ryan Dungey, but Stewart, who had been on the mend from a broken wrist, apparently not able to finish the deal today physically. We'll try to get more info. Aaron is going to head to the pits and see if we can get a word with James Stewart to find out exactly what happened here. But we got to catch up with the battle for the lead. Clement Desalle out of Belgium is leading Ryan Dungey. And Ryan Dungey has won 7 straight races in this tour. This is one of the strongest challenges he has dealt with all season, Jeff. Yeah, it certainly is. And boy, wouldn't that be an upset to have a European rider come in, you know, and steal the thunder here. But I'm telling you, there's 14 minutes left, plus 2 laps in this moto, and we've seen Dungey. He's been challenged at this time, you know, of the moto this season. But this is when he really starts to wick it up late in the second moto. That's when he just has seemed to rise above the competition, which in this case, you know, Andrew Short has been the gauge. But Desalle, these guys haven't raced against him. And he's having the best year of his career on the Grand Prix circuit. So, hey, this is a great ride, especially if you're Roger DeCoster, because you've got a Belgian rider who's riding a Suzuki, and you've got your own rider, Ryan Dungey, your star, and both riders are battling for the overall and just wheeling away from 3rd and 4th there. And these guys seem to hook up in every darn moto. Brett Metcalf on the number 24, the Geico Honda, and the factory Red Bull Honda of Andrew Short. And Short, it happens time and time again. He has the lead, and it seems like once somebody gets by, he starts having problems. He's gone all the way back to 4th. Metcalf taking over the 3rd place position. Well, Short at one point was running down around the 211s, 212s. In the last few laps, it's been 214s, 214.5 here. But as we have this great battle for the lead, we've also got that spectacular battle as Metcalf came up there, and we know he's been strong. Dungey get a giant outside line. Nothing doing there. This is where Dungey, like you said, Jeff, been so spectacular. He leaps to the side of Desalle, side by side, and they're headed to that wall that we talked about at the top of the show. It is straight down, hanging U-turn and straight back up. Oh, look at Desalle just dragging the rear brake all the way down, trying to get the Suzuki 450 stop. I'm telling you, just able to hold on Dungey. I've been so impressed. I mean, with both of these riders here today, they have been just phenomenal. The skill set that they've shown and line choice and physical conditioning. Well, we were talking about the Motocross of Nations at the top of this show, which is a team event. Nation versus nation. We've got a Belgian rider out front, an American in 2nd, an Australian in 3rd. Here goes Dungey to the inside. Desalle's got some great lines figured out. Everywhere Dungey goes, the 463 seems to have an answer. Yeah, and to follow up, that event would be held in Colorado. In Lakewood for the first time here in the U.S. since 2007. Dungey's going to use an outside line in this right-hand turn. It's a long way around. That'll lead him to the inside in the next corner. Well, this has been a passing spot all day long. You see just how close that was. From that angle, it looks like, okay, the guy in the lead has got it handled, but then by the time they get to that tight left-hander, we've seen so many incredible passes throughout the day here in qualifying practice and in the first motos. But look at the track. You land and you G out. The rear shock and everything just gets tested as it... Uh-oh, Dungey makes a mistake. Desalle's going to get back away. I was going to ask you about the roost. The longer Dungey's back there just eating rocks and eating dirt, less patient he's going to be to sit back here. I'll tell you what, it makes you mad, though. Okay. If you're, and you know that you're the guy, you're physically fit, you're strong, the bike's great. When you're eating roost, you're, okay, I got to make a move here. And what we saw was Dungey really put on a charge. I mean, he hammered it. He says, okay, this lap, I'm going to do everything I can to make the pass. But Desalle withstood that charge. Yeah. So now you see Dungey, okay, now I need to regroup, especially through these really fast sections where you're 4th, even 5th gear on a 450. Sometimes, as we've seen this year, the roost has been so great it'll actually knock the goggle lens loose in the rider's goggles, which I've never seen that. It seems like this year now the bikes are making so much horsepower that is an issue. Here's why this battle is so critical. In the first race today, Dungey won, Desalle was 2nd. If Desalle wins this 2nd one, they will tie. They'll both have a 1st and a 2nd on the day. And the tiebreaker is the better finish in the second race. So both scored the same amount of points. Each were the first and second. But Desalle will be handed the overall championship for the day because he won the second race. So Dungey has to make this pass. Oh, and he gets nailed by the rocks and Roost again.
And you know what I think is interesting is both riders have a very patient riding style, very smooth, calculated. You don't really see their feet off the pegs, and they're not using a lot of energy. There's a little mistake there.
Wow, Dungey makes another mistake, and there's more breathing room. We are within 10 minutes and 2 laps to go. Dungey's really going to have to hustle now, or he might not be able to get this victory. As for the number 7 of Stewart, we'll try to get a word with him when we return to upstate New York. AMA Pro Motocross. Unbelievable race for the lead going on here at Unadilla. Clement Desalle, look at this. Ryan Dungey tries to make the pass. Desalle says, no, I'm not going to let you have it. And they scrub opposite directions in midair with a sky shot.
Here comes Dungey around the outside. Oh, he's got the line here, definitely.
Yeah, he's got the inside. He holds his teammate off. And Dungey, well, he takes a look over his shoulder. They don't want to make contact because they're riding for the same team today. All right, now we're heading into that wall that we were talking about. Straight down, straight up. Dungey hugging the inside.
Desalle way on the outside. Oh, he's way behind now.
No, okay. He's going to try to, but Dungey makes a mistake. I thought they were going to land on each other on that jump. Somehow Dungey able to hold the spot. Check it out, Jeff.
Watch the replay here as they come down. Watch Dungey around the outside. Just finds a smooth line. Carries his momentum, which from the left back to the right, which becomes the inside. Nice pass for the lead for Ryan Dungey. Takes a little look over to see if Desalle is going to clear that double and gain any momentum at all.
Oh, Dungey almost came unglued to the landing. He is really pushing the pace now down the stretch. There you see the clock at the top of the screen. 6 minutes and 2 laps left in this race.
Well, I can tell you why Dungey has got the lead. We saw the pass, but the result was, it was a 2-minute, 10-second, 0.5 lap time for Ryan Dungey. The fastest lap of the Moto was when Dungey passed Desalle there. He was on the gas.
And Dungey lays down the first 2-minute, 10-second lap of this race. He is turning it on late when most riders would fade and be getting tired. Now, just a couple of days ago out in California, we had the Toyota Surfer Cross, which is a little more relaxed approach to motocross racing. Surfers and racers getting together. Check it out, the Toyota Surfer Cross, always a good time. Now, you can check out more coverage of that at allysports.com, including our own Jeff Emig, who competed this year. How'd it go?
Yeah, we were right in there. I don't really know what the overall finish was, but the deal was a video surfaced of that area. There was a great white shark right where we were surfing just the day before, and the video surfaced after.
Yeah, you'd rather not know while it's going on. Yeah. Now, this is the shark in the water here. Ryan Dungey, his typical second moto plan. Other riders have the lead. Other riders lead laps, but you just know he's there. You know he's lurking, and then he attacks, and he's got the lead. And it's unbelievable that he's turning in the fastest lap times of the day when the track is at its roughest and when most of the riders have fatigue setting in. That's the kind of physical fitness this kid has.
And what's to be difficult at the end of this here is you can see as he works past some of the lap riders, some of the back markers, is that they are more physically fatigued, mentally fatigued. And so it's tough to work through this lap traffic, but Dungey he's just slicing through them like they're not even there right now.
Aaron Bates is over in the pits. Aaron, you have a report. What's happening to the number 7 of James Stewart?
Well, guys, I wish that I had more for you, but I had witnessed a frustrated and disappointed James Stewart storm into his rig. He went to the back, sat down. He was extremely silent. Nobody on the team is kicking around at this point to ask any questions. Everybody's remaining hidden and silent, so I don't really have a report for that, but it's definitely not the way James Stewart wanted to make his return here in Canada.
No, definitely not, Aaron. The big anticipation of he versus Dungey, but it is a physical test of endurance. In practice, in qualifying today, Stewart was the fastest, but to do it for 30 straight minutes is a totally different story.
Yeah, different story. And James, pretty much every time he gets on the track for like qualifying and stuff like that, he can go as fast as anyone. But like you said, you got to get out here on a hot day, negotiate the race, and all the other riders. You just cannot practice that.
Yep.
So he cannot practice a bad start. You know what I'm saying?
Ryan Dungey has been the master of that. When it's time to go racing, he's been awfully hard to beat this year, and he's out front again. You folks got to check out the Allies show to see what it's like for these guys off the racetrack. When they put the helmets on here, it's pretty darn serious. But during the week, these guys are kids. They have some fun on and off the dirt bikes. So allysports.com for more on that. There's Dungey. He's got a nice lead built up. Once he broke Desalle, he broke away. It's a 9.7-second lead for Dungey. Now Dungey is cruising, so Desalle closed back in just a little bit, but still the gap is massive, Jeff.
Yeah, and it's quite a ways back there from Desalle to Metcalf right now. And last time around, Desalle was a 216. Now he turns a 215, so he picked it up. A couple laps ago was where he lost quite a bit of time. And we got Brent Metcalf with another strong ride up into third.
Rating for the 24. And for those of you new to motocross, you kind of see how it's the combination of speed and endurance. Early in the race, with 3 riders battling for the lead, the 24 Metcalf wasn't too far back in fourth, but as the race goes on, then the endurance becomes a factor, and that has been where Ryan Dungey has done his damage this year. Although this guy, Brent Metcalf, he's a pretty hard worker also. You just know you're going to get everything Metcalf has every week, this veteran out of Australia.
Yeah, he certainly does. And one thing that we touched on in the first moto is that in this class, you've got Metcalf on the Geico Power Sports Honda. You've got the Red Bull Honda here, which is the factory back ride with Short. And then actually we have the Troy Lee Hondas, which is not quite in there, but Wyndham, after a horrible crash the first moto.
What a comeback for Kevin Wyndham. Aaron, what happened there? Wyndham went down hard in the first moto. You got an update on him?
They do, and hey guys, he actually injured his right elbow. He said he's not exactly sure what happened, but it was definitely tweaked. He had it iced up. He was ready to go for this moto, but he said, did you take a look at that crash? Because it was probably one of the hardest fills I've ever taken in my career, so I'm extremely lucky.
Yeah, I did not expect to see the 14 back out here. The 32-year-old, originally from Louisiana, now lives in Centerville, Mississippi, and he's only out here basically at a part-time role and digging down deep today. Yeah, and Wyndham, normally on the Geico Power Sports Honda team, is now riding the Red Bull Honda in place of injured Davey Millsaps, but wow, like you said, he just took one of the hardest crashes of his career, and now here he is. Oh, he's trying to get around Short. This is wild, this battle right now. And just like we saw earlier with Desalle and Dungey, these guys got to be careful. They ride for the same team, so don't knock each other down.
Well, and also, you know, we had talked about the picks for the Motocross of Nations team. Even though Wyndham has not rode motocross most of the summer, the beginning part, he's only filling in part-time. He was definitely on my list of riders that you would, consider for the team. Typically, he's a great starter. He's an even better finisher at times. So, and right now, he's battling Andrew Short, who got the nod and got the spot for the MX3 position.
There it is, folks. Final lap. They're waving the white flag. Last time around, can Short hold off Wyndham and try to be the top factory Red Bull Honda rider in this one? The Geico Honda Metcalf has gotten them both. He's in third with 2 Suzukis out front. Dungey is heading to the checkered flag. Unbelievable. Dungey has had so many riders to get through this year, and every time they raise the bar, he finds a way to get over it again. This time it was Clement Desalle that he had to clear.
Well, and I asked around the pits, the industry insiders, and it was kind of all over the place, but there were certain people that said Stewart is going to go out and blow everybody away today.
For sure.
Right? And then you had other riders, or other people that said, no, Dungey is just too strong. There is a changing of the guard happening.
Yep.
Okay, so, well, Dungey has answered all of the questions today. Still a lot of unanswered questions for James Stewart, and he admitted a little bit soon maybe to be coming back. He was just too excited, just could not. If I can ride, I don't want to be sitting at home on the couch. But for the number 5 here, he's continuing on what is going to be a legendary year to be a rookie champion in Supercross. If he can complete this championship, be the first time in motocross and Supercross that anyone has ever accomplished that feat as a rookie.
Yeah,
amazing.
It's just a hard thing to imagine. He's still a rookie. He's only going to get better. He's only 20 years old. Where's he going to be in 5 years? Just maybe more of this. This is a preview of 2015 at this point.
Yeah, he's riding like a veteran rider who just has done this a million times. But this is his first season on a 450 and AMA motocross.
Well, he's got the tutelage of some of the best in the sport. His team manager, Roger DeCoster, he rides and trains at Ricky Carmichael's house, and he's doing it like them. He was a winner here at the legendary Unadilla Valley Sports Center. His mechanic, Mike Gosler, is pumped. We'll be back to talk to our winner, and we'll check in with Jamie Bestwick, who's at the Dew Tour in Portland. We'll check in with our buddy who's out there. Great day for action sports here at NBC. Let's head down to the podium with Aaron Bates.
Ryan Dungey continues to be unstoppable, extending that points lead once again. Ryan, at this point, is it starting to become a reality? Can you taste this title?
Yeah, you know, we just try one race at a time, and that's the goal, you know, it's the end result. But, you know, it's just got to give it up. Team Rockstar, McKinney, doing an unbelievable job, and my family, everybody. And track was rough, that moto, and Desalle, me and him were going at it, so it's good to have him over here from overseas, and just fun racing, really.
Congratulations on a job well done. Clement Desalle, all smiles with a performance like that. Clement, coming in, you said you weren't going to say too much. You let the racing do the talking for you. Did you exceed your expectations?
Yeah, I exceeded my expectation because no, I didn't crash today, and I make 2 times second. Yeah, it's better to be 2 times first, I know, but and my girlfriend, big kiss, because they cannot come here, and thanks to everybody.
Brett Metcalf takes that 3rd place overall, and Brett, during the break, you guys had actually made some changes to the engine setup for some more bottom end. How much did that help at this track?
Well, I think it helped a lot coming up the hills, but my start was still really bad, so it didn't help there. But, you know, I got to get over to the Geico Power Sports Honda team, Factory Connection, you know, the whole team, Dunlop tires. We're getting a reasonable start, but good on the track, so thanks, everyone. Thank you.
Terrific job, and all your hard work's continued to pay off.
The all-new Geomax MX34 is the latest result of Dunlop's ongoing development with the help of top motocross pros. The all-new Geomax MX34 is the new industry standard for soft to intermediate terrain. Experience the advantage